friends, if you're watching this video, we are now officially in 2023, so Happy New Year! Though we're all a week or so in, I'd like to take a moment to look back on 2022 and share with you 10 lessons I learned from 10 books that literally changed my life. Now, if you've been enjoying my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks! Okay, let's dive in. The first book that got me thinking was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F by Mark Manson. At the end of his book, Manson talks about confronting your mortality, and it got me thinking about what traits or values I want to exhibit in my daily life, what people would say about me when I was dead. What kind of contribution would I have made to society? 3 words came to mind. I want to be known as kind, courageous, and creative. I want my kids to see me this way, so every chance I get, I try to live out these values. How do you want to be remembered? What are your core values? The second book that changed my life was Atomic Habits by James Clear. His idea is that we should not focus on goals, but focus on systems instead. This was a revolutionary idea to me. Yes, I want to lose 120 pounds in 1 year, but how am I going to get there? I put together a list of systems and they became my routines and habits. I work out 5 to 7 times a week and I try to eat only 1 to 2 meals a day, with the second meal being a salad. I also weigh myself every morning, even if I've gorged the night before. That keeps me accountable. Book 3 is The 4 Agreements, and the agreement that I loved most here was to be impeccable with your word. If you're gonna say something, follow through. This can be with work or with your kids. For instance, I made it my mission this year to get fit, and though I have slid back, I'm jumping right back in and starting over. Sure, I'm a little disappointed in myself that I gained back 10 pounds during the holidays, but the important thing here is that I'm committed to losing those 120 pounds one way or another this year. I'm gonna do it. What promises are you going to make to yourself and to others? Book 4 deals with goal setting, and it's from the book Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Tony talks about writing a long paragraph as to why you are setting a goal. That way you can always come back to your deep-seated why when you want to waver. For me, I want to lose weight because I want to be healthy enough to live a long time and see my future grandchildren. I want to have a lot of energy for my kids so I can play with them every day. So what's your why? Coming in at number 5, remember the book Mindset by Carol Dweck? It's one of my all-time favorites. What I learned most from that book is that sometimes when you feel frustrated and don't think you can move on, you have to keep trying, or you think of a new strategy. This has helped me as a parent because when my kids don't get something right away, I tell them to think differently about a problem, and they oftentimes solve it. The 6th book I enjoyed this year was Eat the Frog, and it was the main idea of this book that got me thinking. Whenever you're going to take on multiple tasks at once, try doing the hardest thing first. Tackle the toughest problem, and then the next task will be easier. I tell my kids this all the time. Eat the frog! Eat the biggest, nastiest frog first, and then move on to the smaller ones. The 7th book is Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg, a Stanford professor and researcher. I liked his idea about celebrating tiny habits. The idea is that you start off with a tiny habit, like exercising for 5 to 10 minutes, and then seeing if you have the motivation to go longer. He suggests giving yourself a pat on the back for even doing the tiniest habits, because celebrating your tiny wins makes you feel good and makes you want to keep on doing those good habits. I do a pat on the back every time I finish a Peloton class. The 8th book I loved this year was The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor. He lists some pretty easy to do and yet effective ways to get happy. These include calling up your friend for a quick chat, playing your favorite song, or just meditating. I start each morning with the Abide app and then the Calm app. Jay Shetty's 7-minute meditations on calm are a great way to start off the day. The book Platonic was my 9th book choice this year, and this one gave me a lot of lessons on friendship. Instead of having to go out there into the wilderness and make new friends, author Marissa J. Franco suggests for us introverts to make existing friendships stronger or reconnect with old friends. I love this idea, and I rekindled some old friendships because of it. There's nothing that can replace some good old-fashioned girl time. Finally, the last lesson came from the book Daring Greatly. Brene Brown spins vulnerability on its head by telling us that to be vulnerable is to be courageous. You can't have one without the other. When I'm sharing my life stories, I feel scared that people will judge me. But then I remember that by being vulnerable, I'm actually being courageous. And remember, being courageous is one of my core values, right? Well, as I strategize for 2023, I hope to bring you more lessons I learned from books, but also some different content like my weight loss journey and even what I find hot and trending, like I did with the Lensa app. I hope you'll come along for the ride. If you've never heard of Lensa, it's a fun, trending app that you may want to check out. I've done a quick video tutorial you can check out. Thanks and so long! Here's to an amazing 2023.